withdrawal pangs of these lovely friends of mine. We have spent 15 hours a day on sets, and we have bonded over our lunches and dinners, sort of the time between pitches when we put on music and danced. We ragged the hell out of each other, and one of the best gifts that Shark Tank has given me, sit right here.
You only called your friends, right, for this panel? From the Shark Tank.
That's Vineeta for you. So you're going to have the no filter Vineeta in her full element right now, because she just said I called only her friends, and I'll say obviously the ones I was missing the most. Very excited to be here today. The beauty of our friendship is the vibe, the masti we share. So while it is my job to keep a few very intellectual, gyan type questions for all of you, so you have some take-home points, I also want to keep some time for asking them questions about our lighter moments, questions about the authenticity, the warmth, and the beauty of the vibe that we share as well. And after I'm done asking that, I would love to open it up to the audience. And I'd like to leave more time for questions from the audience, because again, that's where the candor, that's where the real learning comes. And you can address it to specific sharks, you can address it to all of us. That is something I'm looking forward to as well. So let's start with more the gyani, preachy, B-school type questions that we've been pakaud with in our marketing day a week back, right? So the first question I'm going to ask all of you is, dear investors, what is your leadership? What is your investment style? What do you look for in an entrepreneur and a venture that comes?
I'm going to answer on behalf of Aman, because Aman came Delhi Standard Time ke hisab se just in time. And while that was happening, we were all panicking. What are we going to do if Aman doesn't reach? So I was telling them, don't worry, I can handle all answers on behalf of Aman. So I will tell you how Aman's going to answer this question, and then he's going to tell me whether it's right or wrong. So, in season 1, I did some of these FOMO deals. But I've realized कि FOMO deals जो होती है ना, वो सारी companies डूब जाती हैं. तो my investment mantra is कि बंदे में दम होना चाहिए. And मैंने जो companies में बंदा देख के पैसा डाला, वो company बहुत बड़ी बन गई है. जहाँ मैंने FOMO में दिमाग की सुन के invest किया, वो सब डूब गई है. And one more. No, and one more. Hustle बहुत जरूरी है. मेरी company का मैं hustle हूँ और समीर muscle है.
नहीं, और इस इंडस्ट्री का मैं गुंडा हूँ.
और इस इंडस्ट्री का मैं गुंडा हूँ. And कन्वल को मैंने एक मेल लिखा, I am looking for a shark. And then he gave me a shitty valuation, but I still got him on board because, that's important. So, yeah, that's Aman for you.
तो मैं जाऊँ?
Please. Sorry. Please. I was just practicing because, I wasn't sure you'll come.
But Vineeta was bang on.
So,
she has rut out all your dialogues, so perfect.
But most of it is true. But should I answer on her behalf now?
No. I think let's hear from you.
Try.
I think that
let's hear from you, Mr. Aman Gupta, AGOG like we call you. What is your investment style?
Now, how do I change the answer? Because the answer is already given, right? So for me, as she rightly said, English, right? This is English panel, right?
I know it's hard for you, but try.
So, when I entered Shark Tank last year, all these sharks were sitting there. In fact, there were a few more, and they were all investors. I had not done many investments before that. I had no money. I was not rich. I was not an investor. And last year only, I sold some part of the company when I got some secondary. So I was learning the art of investment sitting along these guys, right? So they, like Anupam had done 200. She's anyways IIT IIM, so they know everything, right? She, he's one of the best businessmen, entrepreneurs in the country. She has got EBITDA of, I think, I don't know, X plus. So they know this all, right? So मेरा बहुत easy था. First year में, these guys used to पहले evaluate कर लेते थे, पता लग जाता था deal अच्छी है. मेरा खाली काम होता था इनसे लड़ना और deal लेना. So that was my investment mantra in deal in season 1. But in season 2, I've become better. I've become an investor, become a smarter investor. So it's going to be much better. So I've invested more on the people, 50%, as she rightly said. I remember Mr. Mariawala also 4 years back when I met him the first time. And, we were also, I think, around doing 50 crores a year or something as a business. And he said that, and we had kept a target of 100 crores. He said, you will do 200. तो मैं इतना स्ट्रेस हो रहा था कि अब इन्होंने बोला है तो we'll have to beat it, and thankfully we did that, right? So we invest, for me so for me it's simple, Kaval bet on me, and I've given him decent returns. So I think the best way of investment is to bet on the person, and that's what I've done.
Lovely. Vineeta, you go next.
कुछ बोलना और तो बोल लो.
Okay, so I will not say much because I agree with a lot of what he said in terms of believing in the founder. The only extension to that is founder market fit. I feel is more important than product market fit. I just, can you imagine like somebody like him or me doing a B2B business, for instance, right? It's a very different kind of skill set, and I've done a B2B business, and it just, that passion for the consumer, for creating something great which women get excited about, that drives me, and that's something I'm willing to do for like 20, 30, 40 years. So I look for that connect that the founder has with her or his market in terms of there being that natural fit, that whatever she or he is good at is something that this business requires to succeed, because you can put a great founder in a market where there's no natural fit, and that business will struggle. So I think after founder, the only other criteria that I have is good founder market fit. And of course, generally overall a growing market, I'm okay to do smaller markets, but like 20 years, 30 years thesis should be that this market should be growing. Declining markets may building something that's really differentiated and scales in the long run is harder. So that's my thesis.
Little bit different, I think. Firstly, and everybody, I've been raising money for 10 years now, and I found that every investor likes something different. So, aisa nahi hai ki, what one may like, the other may, not like, and what other may not like, someone else can like, right? I think for me, looking at my own journey, if you would have met me 10 years back, I probably could not stand up here and even talk. And neither did I know fashion, nor did I know manufacturing. And what I was doing, even I didn't know at some point. So I think the biggest thing I look for is the ability of the founder to learn and stay grounded and grow, right? The art of knowing what they don't know and knowing that they need to continuously learn is important. And I think in today's environment where times are changing so fast, right? Every 6 months, environment is different. Abhi pura television khatam ho gaya, OTT aa gaya. So environment has changed completely. So, and technology ka role badh gaya hai businesses mein. So you need to continuously, I have seen that you need to always go with the view that you don't know anything and then continuously learn. And that's been the Shark Tank experience. And that's one of the reasons I go there. The second thing I've seen is that if entrepreneurs, the biggest role that they need to play is build teams and get people to work with them, partners to work with them. And that needs to happen from a very early stage. So the ability of the founder to, and this also I think they can learn sometimes, but if it is there, it just makes a lot of ability of the founder to inspire. Right? If they can inspire in their conversation, in their language, and you feel like, I can work with this person, whether I am an employee, I think it just makes it easier. A good orator, a good communicator, a good talker, I think just helps do this. So I just follow that. And for me, it is 99% entrepreneur. Rest, everything is secondary.
And I think that's a common answer that you're going to get from all of us, because at Shark Tank, the kind of ventures that came were either pre-revenue or very low revenue. So in the absence of that level of facts and figures and financials, you had to go with your gut instinct on the founder and bet on the founder. And that's a perfect segue to my second question, that what are the top 2 qualities that you look for in a founder, and give one example from season 1 of a founder that you invested in because you saw those 2 qualities in that founder. So we don't have to go in order. Anyone can speak on this. Because you're right, we bet on the founder.
So, qualities, as Vineeta stole my thunder. It was hustle first. It is very important, as I always say. And I won't lie, hustle is, normally sometimes people take it negatively, but for me that has worked. So I look for hustle in the founder. अगर उसके मतलब if he's not hungry, अगर उसके अंदर वो आग नहीं लगी भी, if he doesn't have that fire, if he doesn't have that drive, then maybe I can't work with him, because I will drive him crazy. And I work hard, and I like to have reciprocal energy from people around me. So if I don't find that hustle in that founder, then I think maybe he's happy in his life, maybe he doesn't want to, and that's not something which I resonate with. And second, I would say that he should be humble, and that's I think a big problem in today's entrepreneurial system. As soon as people get funding, they start they start getting congratulatory messages from like 1,000 people around them, and that suddenly takes them to a next level. They start feeling better, and if their business is doing well, then they start feeling like God, right? Then they started getting into the God syndrome. And we have some examples I don't want to talk about. So you don't have to get there. And I think hustle hard and stay humble. That those are the 2 things which I keep talking about. And I believe in that.
And any one founder who's close to your heart from season 1, you've met a lot and you feel like had those qualities. I mean, all of them did. That's why you invested. But someone you were especially touched by.
So there is this guy, who was selling banana chips.
Yes.
He's,
Manas,
yeah.
right?
So and we make some mistakes. Even in season 1, if you see some of my interviews, I've said that I've liked X as a founder. But, things changed, times changed. But I think now I feel Manas has got those skills. He doesn't talk much. He's a silent killer, I would say. He used to do, when I met him on Shark Tank, he was doing 20 lakhs a month. And now he's doing 2 crores a month, right? So my money has also grown 10x, right? So he's a good founder, and I think he'll do well.
I remember Manas because he had the very dramatic entry of Shark Tank followers, tearing his t-shirt with a Kathakali dancer. So he had all the essentials. Vineeta?
For me, the number 1 quality is, resilience. I feel that 99% of success, and, I was told that there are 1,400 entrepreneurs here, have running businesses worth total turnover of 50,000 crores. So what I'm talking about. There is no straight line in an entrepreneurial journey. So the sooner you deal with those failures, those setbacks, those pivots, the more that resilience muscle develops. And that's the number 1 thing that I look for in an entrepreneur, because that will be put to test. And many times we need these early stage businesses where they've not yet seen failure. And I'm always a bit cautious in those cases, because you don't know how somebody's going to react, because a lot of times people jump into entrepreneurship, especially now because funding is easier and Shark Tank has made it glamorous. They jump into it because it's cool, and like cool or quick bucks is definitely the wrong reason to start up. So do they have the resilience to go through years and years of failures and setbacks is the first thing. And the second thing is that, there's this interesting dichotomy of a good entrepreneur that I've seen. You have the patience for the results, but you still have that impatience of moving fast every single day. And that, dichotomy, you are able to handle. You're somebody who's like really every day aggressively chasing things faster than competition, but you still have the patience to not let the results or the outcomes deter you. And that is another quality I try to measure when I meet an entrepreneur. And one of the founders that I invested in season 1, there's this company called Quirky Nari, Malvika. So she's somebody who's come from like Mathura, fighting a lot of odds, a lot of personal challenges, and even becoming a founder. Went through multiple pivots, very small business pre-Shark Tank. She's done phenomenally well. Her business has grown about 5 times in the last 8 months. And I feel that she's somebody who is very resilient, not because she's seen a lot of failures in business, but in her personal life. And I think that's good enough as well, because the earlier you fail, the more that muscle develops.
No, I think that's beautifully said. And for all those of you who haven't seen it, Vineeta has done some amazing YouTube talks about her own story. And I think her own story is about getting through multiple failures, not giving up, and talking about that grit. And I'm an ardent, admirer of Mr. Mariwala. And recently on his Twitter, he posted this picture of a guy going up the stairs and falling on the bouncing board, and then going back up on the stairs. And success is never linear, right? And that was such a beautiful and powerful video that he put up on his Twitter. And that's all about, you'll have setbacks, and it's not a linear path. You fall and you pick yourself again. And I think that's, that video, if you've not seen it, you must see on his Twitter handle. But bottom line, I look for the same things: hunger and humility. I can give you umpteen examples where the business was good, but we as Sharks did not invest because we found the founder almost arrogant and with this air of I know it all. And that's not always a nice kind of a vibe in terms of the person you want to work with. So for me, it's hunger and humility. And the one founder who really blew me away is, they all make fun of that venture of mine. Any guesses? No, the other one.
Rare Planet.
Rare Planet. They made so much fun of me. So Rano and Vijay Kumar basically have these handicraft stores at all airports. And they are a beautiful example of how so many ventures came to Shark Tank, where people said, "Arey, ye to karigar hai, ye CSR hai, this is philanthropy." And they have proved that social impact and tremendous sales and profitability can coexist. And I'm very happy to say that they're going to be one of the success stories covered. And when I invested in them, they had 4 airport stores. Today, as we speak, they have 32 airport stores. And when I invested in them, they had only 70 lakhs in sales. And that was also mainly from Kullards and copper water bottles. And now they're 4.2 crores a month in sales. And they're in wooden toys and they're in perfumes. And I mean, they're just doing fabulously well. And very, very hungry, humble entrepreneurs. Now, my last serious question.
By the way, this was the trailer for season 2. You're going to see this a lot in season 2.
Yeah, they made so much fun of me.
I'll just add example of an entrepreneur here. See,
I'm sorry, did I not? Did I miss
I
you?
want to give, the reason is same. I think ability to learn and inspire, right? I
You
think.
so we, Peyush,
But I
we know your favorite entrepreneur.
I invested in Kamlesh, and a lot of people thought that this is CSR. But I want to tell you, for somebody who didn't know English, one thing was very clear. He knew he wanted to learn, because once he got the deal, he came and shook hands with everybody who didn't give him a deal. So that means that he respects other people. And second, he could inspire all of us. This year, coming year, he will do sales north of 2 crores. Right? Right? So from learning English to living in a town to knowing how to sell. And this is what learning can do, right? If you don't know anything and you know. And I think 2 crore is a large number from just paper plan to this. So yeah, I thought, so which is why this is so important to continuously be able to learn.
No, absolutely. And I met Kamlesh on the sets of season 2, and I won't spoil the fun for you, but Peyush and his team have done an incredible job. I mean, Kamlesh we saw in season 1 and season 2 are like 2 different people. So definitely that's a great story. My last question, serious question. I'm sorry I missed you, Peyush, on the favorite entrepreneur part. I got a little excited with that bouncing board video. But my last question is about your own businesses. I want you to talk about your own companies and what is it that helped you sustain and scale your own businesses?
Uh,
What are your two leadership mantras or two secrets that helped you scale?
Mantra, you said? Next time, say mantra. Say.
Okay, fine. Mantra. What is your mantra that helped you sustain and scale?
Yeah, so, just to add to Rare Planet, this year, this year, she first bought the shop called Rare Planet, and in season 2, she's bought products for Rare Planet.
That's true. So many ventures came and I'd be like, oh, I can put you in Rare Planet store. I want this venture. And so they made so much fun of me. But guess what? I'm having the last laugh because it's the biggest success story of season 1, I think. Right?
For now.
For now. But Aman, let's hear about Boat and let's hear about how you made it what it is today.
Both, when we started, there were, I always say this, there were not many electronic brands, lifestyle brands, which were funded in our space. When we started 5-6 years back, we used to be called online brand. And लोग बोलते थे online brand कितना बड़ा हो जाएगा ये तो फिर हमने पहले investors तो होते ही there are some investors who are supposed to be investors. तो जब हमने 1 करोड़ किया तो कहते थे अरे जब 10 करोड़ करेंगे ना तब बात करेंगे. ठीक है तब बात कर लेंगे. फिर हमने 10 किया कहते अरे 10 तो कर लिया 50 तक नहीं आ पाओगे. ठीक है भाई कर लिया. फिर हमने 50 कर लिया. फिर कहते अरे 50 कर लिया 100 तो बिल्कुल नहीं हो सकता. 100 तक तुम नहीं आ सकते. इम्पॉसिबल है. हमने 100 भी कर लिया. फिर तो वो होता है ना कि now the best part is when I meet those investors, I always say I have that last laugh. I don't know whether it's the last laugh, but I still have a laugh, and I look at them and I say, you missed the boat this time. So it gives me a good high when I meet those investors though. So for me it was a tough category. It was not easy, and when you and to give some positive for the investors, I think the type of questions when you meet investors, I met around 40 VCs and 40 angel investors, and all of them, when they start asking questions, is when you learn what to do and what not to do, and that prepares me for the next scale. So I learned what all they asked, so that the next time when I went to them, my business has all the ingredients what investors look at, and I delivered on those ingredients. I learned from a lot of these investors. So it was a tough category. God has been kind. We did well, but miles to go. It's just the start.
Absolutely. So Mr. Mariwala was the only investor who said ulta. 200 crore karo. So in our journey, I think a couple of things that we did. Firstly, I think we started brand building very early on. And by brand building, I don't mean ATL, whatever, TV ads and stuff. And I don't even mean Facebook ads, Google ads, performance marketing, and all of the fancy stuff which people assume brand building is about. Because when you start, you don't have any money to invest in any of that. And nor did we. I mean, we also launched Sugar in 2015 when there was no category called D2C. And in fact, people used to laugh at you saying you're trying to build a brand out of India in a category where there are international FMCG giants operating, and nobody's going to pay premium for a brand that comes out of India because people want to buy products which are imported brands from Europe and US. So at that time in 2015, to build a brand, we did all the small stuff which takes love, patience, it's a lot of thought and effort, and not really money, which is thinking about from what is the brand name, the packaging, communication, how the consumer receives the product, the entire experience around the product, and of course, education, the small things. Why are women not wearing makeup? How do we educate them by showing on real women how makeup is to be worn, and how do we improve that relationship, that emotional connect that they have with makeup? So those small things around brand experience, consumer experience, great service, no question asked returned if you think this red is not the red that I asked for. they made such a large difference till the point of time where we had money to spend on brand building that, many times founders want to just invest in some of those shortcuts, which I feel take them away from that, the effort and the pain and the love that you have to put in those initial days. So I think that's the one thing we did right. We did a lot of things wrong, but that's one of the things that we did right. And the other is, I think, product. So product is not just about what you say yes to, but also what you say no to. And we had very clearly identified that our consumer is a young woman. And while all the brands in the market were creating these products which worked for a certain consumer, we were going after really young women. And that's why we created products. And there was always, every year, there was temptation to create something which is the largest in terms of largest SKU in the category. But today, Sugar's hero products are products that other brands never invested early enough on, like things like primer, foundation stick, non-transfer lipsticks. Now, these are terms which like brands weren't investing back in 2015-16, but because we said no to all of those things that didn't make sense for our consumer, I feel that product, it was a very important part of our journey of making Sugar what it is. So those are the two things I think that worked well for us.
For us, I think there are two things you asked. One is sustain and second is scale, right? I think sustenance, we very clearly and in some form theoretically, very clearly articulated the problem we were solving and the what we wanted to do over 10 years, 20 years. So I think writing that vision statement, and we literally, I remember in 2012, I published a book for the organization, and every employee who used to join used to get like not a thick book, but a 10-pager book which used to say, what is the problem? What is the solution? What will we do and what will we not do? And I think because as time was progressing, as you come and business ideas keep coming, ki ye bhi kar lo, wo bhi kar lo. So we never got distracted. And every time we got distracted, we could come back and say no to a lot of things. So that clarity of vision really helped us sustain. And this is the third time what people call investment winter. So we never really had any winter because we knew. In terms of scale, I think two things played out, and not because of any math and not because, it made financial sense or business sense. I think just over investment in talent, like obsessive investment in talent, right? Really taking the talent bar higher and higher every year. And it was always, I used to say in those days in Lenskart, abhi to nahi bolta ho, because some people, that good people always pay for themselves, right? So it will be very difficult for me to meet a good person who I think had all the qualities and not hire. So I would always overshoot a hiring budget. And the second is that over investment in tech, right? It wasn't like, acha, ye kaam hai, to ye invest karenge. First take out a business case, which is the right thing to do for maybe large businesses to plan. But we didn't really plan when it came to talent and when it came to tech. We just said ki jo bhi hai bas dalte jao, you keep putting in. I think that really allowed us to scale and build things which, changed the game later.
Absolutely. And where MQ is concerned, it's a healthcare company. So only thing that can help any healthcare company succeed, sustain scale, being the parameters, is science. Till you are not able to have that edge in science and innovation, which helps you launch that differentiated product that's going to help the patient, that's the only thing that keeps us going. And of course, in a country like India with such a large problem of awareness, diagnosis, and treatment, how can you as a company have patient centricity and really do your own bit in this awareness, diagnosis, and treatment massive gap that there is? These are the two levers that we've used. Again, it's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much to do in healthcare. But we will continue our efforts along these lines. And now we have only 15 minutes left as per the timer. So I'm going to quickly ask one fun question, which will probably take 2 or 3 minutes. And then I want to leave about 10 minutes for questions from the audience. So the fun question I have is, Vineeta, will you imitate all of us? She is fantastic. She's so good at imitating all of us.
I'm
so
so
Vineeta,
good
can you
at
please
I'm
imitate
so
all
good
of
at
us.
imitating Namita that people walk up to me at the airport and then they spend like 3 minutes telling me how they love me and they are so excited about and inspired by me, and then they say, "Great job, best of luck for season 2, Namita."
Our names are so similar. What do we do?
I've told my team, please get me a not Namita t-shirt for the airport. So if 1400 of you, please spread the word. Ye Vineeta hai, wo Namita hai. Do not confuse. And please don't call me Namita.
So I thought you
So
were.
are you going to imitate us or no?
So honestly, I can't do mimicry. I just know what everybody says. So I'm going to say what everybody's going to say in season 2. So it may not be relevant to season 1 because it was too far away and I don't remember season 1 at all. But I can tell you how season 2 is playing out, and that's what the trailer is like. So let me start with Namita.
Oh,
because she's the kindest, she won't kill me. These boys are really nasty. So Namita in season 2, which is not about expertise, and I'm out by the way. So आप पुणे से हैं और आप अभी अपना बिजनेस पुणे में कर रहे हैं. इस पे मुझे एक शेर याद आता है. अनुपम इरशाद कहो. इरशाद. मंजिल मिलेगी भटक कर कहीं, वो क्या पहुंचे जो घर से निकले ही नहीं.
don't kill my sheer, man.
Yeah, what
So
this is the new phase of Namita.
So you need to get out more. I went to the US and spent 8 years there, and that gave me all the perspective. And honestly,
I am
I-
doing. I don't know. I can't get
I
roasted.
shop on Wintra, but I haven't seen your brand around.
Oh, that's what she does, yeah.
Yeah, in the middle of like this really amazing R's getting rolled and like exact Namita American accent, she'll suddenly go like, "Hey, Aman, choy!" And then she'll be like, "Jaldi out ho na, fir tapori dance karte hain." So yeah, there are these two sides to Namita. And while all of this is happening, Peyush is like, "तो problem ये है ना कि आप problem को घुस के नहीं समझ रहे हो. आप वैल्यूएशन के पीछे भाग रहे हो. आप यूनिकॉर्न, मैंने बनाया वो अलग बात है, आप यूनिकॉर्न बनाना चाहते हो. तो इसमें इससे मेरे को इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. बट सर फाउंडर, बट सर मेरा विजन है कि मैं टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू अपना पर्पस हर इंडियन के पास पहुंचाना चाहता हूँ. ओह, चेकलिस्ट, टेक्नोलॉजी, विजन, पर्पस. तो आप लोग थोड़ा और बात कीजिए. मेरा मन बन रहा है, मैं अपना ऑफर तैयार कर रहा हूँ. तब तक आप लोग बात कीजिए और मुझे 32 और क्वेश्चंस है वो मैं लिख रहा हूँ.
You know, I call Peyush, I no longer call him Peyush Bansal, I call him Utsuk Bansal. उसकी उत्सुकता खत्म ही नहीं होती है.
And while all of this is going on, right, this intense conversation, Aman Gupta through that whole journey in the beginning of the pitch, then after a while, and then suddenly Aman realizes it's his turn. So Aman is like, "तू बंदा great है पर मिला थोड़ा late है." And then you're like, okay, fine, he's about to say he's out. Suddenly, out of the blue, पर चल मैं तेरे को ऑफर देता हूँ.
अरे what यहाँ लगा ना.
Oh हाँ. So that part I missed. Yeah, what should be over here? चल मैं तेरे को ऑफर देता हूँ. क्योंकि ना मुझे ना तुझ में मैं दिख रहा हूँ. क्योंकि तूने बोला कि तू 200 रुपए की कॉफी नहीं अफोर्ड करता. मैं आज भी 200 रुपए की कॉफी नहीं अफोर्ड कर पाता. मेरे जूतों का प्राइस टैग मत पूछना, बट हाँ 200 रुपए की कॉफी मैं आज भी नहीं अफोर्ड कर पाता. तो मैं तेरे को ऑफर देता हूँ. वैल्यूएशन.
और इसी मोमेंट पे विनीता एंटर करती है. वैल्यूएशन.
Who's going to imitate Vineeta?
8 crore for 1%. बट सर मैंने तो 40 लाख for 1% मांगा था. चल ठीक है 40 लाख फॉर 4%. सर आप 1 करोड़ फॉर 1% से 40 लाख फॉर 4%, ये तो बहुत डिफरेंस है वैल्यूएशन में. डिफरेंस बस जीरो का डिफरेंस है. तेरे को जीरो से अगर हीरो बनना है तो तुझ में मेरी वैल्यू देखनी पड़ेगी. अगर तुझे मेरी वैल्यू नहीं है ना तो देखो मैं आउट.
And
That is
Vineeta
season 2
Singh
for you.
power
That is
to
season
you.
2.
Now who's going to imitate Vineeta?
After
You
this, I
can't.
can't.
You can't.
विनीता का क्या है ना, विनीता देख रही होती है कौन ऑफर दे रहा है नहीं दे रहा है, एंड शी इज वेरी गुड एट मैथ, तो सब निकाल लिया है. इस सीजन में 2-3 बार हो गया है. मैं चेक लेके एंटरप्रेन्योर के पास गया हूँ, वहां पे डील वील हो गई है, विनीता जाएगी और मेरे को वापस ले आएगी और फिर बैठेगी कि नहीं नहीं मैं ही तुम्हारे लिए सही शाक हूँ बिल्कुल. एंड मैथ वैथ तो सबसे पहले कर लिए. तो हमें जब ऑफर देने की बारी आती है, शी यूजेस her hands like this. कोई ऑफर दे नहीं रहा है. We are devastated. मतलब हमें पता ही नहीं कि हम करें क्या. And then she goes and hands over the check. And
I'm just ensuring कि सारे sharks को लेंस काट के चश्मे पहनने पड़े so that they don't get poked in the eye by me.
सिर्फ 2 लंबे हाथ है, कानून के और विनीता के.
cool.
No, but we had a blast. I mean, I cannot tell you how much fun we've had at the tank. And this is the biggest gift we got from the show. Priceless, priceless friends and memories. With that, I think it's about a few more minutes to go. Should we open it up to the audience?
Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm going to
He's
moderate.
raised his hand 6 times. Like, while Namita's questions were going on, he had raised his hand 6 times.
Yeah, so why don't we just, have you ask your questions?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
Just to make it easy, address it to one shark so we can get through more people.
And Vineeta has some fascination for hands. I mean,
Well, that's exactly the opposite to what I was planning to do. Anyways, thank you so much for firstly creating such inspiring businesses, and my gratitude to you for what you're doing beyond making those businesses. So thank you so much, Sharks, for that. Coming to the question for all of us startups, scalability and how to scale is one of the very, very important questions. Now, from your personal experience, we would want to know that what is that one thing that you did wrong while trying to scale, which you would suggest us not to do?
So who are you addressing to?
I mean, as I said, I would love to hear it from all of you, but anyone, if there's something at the top of your mind.
I think just let's one of us answer, whoever wants to. Peyush, you want to answer?
yeah, I think one thing is underinvest in systems or tech and scale the business, and that can lead to, suboptimal customer experience, right? So I think I would say just try, and it's always a battle, but overinvest in system processes for scale from the beginning. Hire people, not that you need today, but ones you need 3 years from now. So, हाँ वो गलतियां की है हमने सारी, मैंने करी है सारी.
I think that's a perfect answer. I would have said the same thing, that systems and people overinvest. A lot of people don't do that. Aman?
Mera, our business, as we expected X, 2X happened. Then we expected 4X and then 10X happened. So, hamara backend fat gaya tha, we could not control the growth. So I think that is one of the learnings that, we just chased sales and market share. But there was a lot of other things which got futtered in between. So I think if I go back, I would build backend stronger, and probably be ready, because, sometimes I get surprised by how the consumers reacted to the products, because business plan banane bahut easy hai, right? ये बना दिया, but business plan, मतलब आजकल जैसे हमारे ऑफिस में ना AOP बनता था, AOP होता है annual operating plan. वो तो I think it's redundant nowadays. I feel MOP होना चाहिए, monthly operating plan. You don't know how markets change, things change. And for me, that was my biggest learning, that I was not ready for the growth.
I think let's go on to the next question. The gentleman standing there. Who's got the mic?
Hi. Here.
Sorry, where is...
Yeah, we
Please
can
just
see
press
you.
this
Go
side.
ahead.
Can I say? Yeah, hi. My name is Chirag. This is from Vineeta. Sorry, I was the one last week at Singapore airport to call you Namita. So from now on, I will call you Vineeta. Okay, my question is.
You can call her not Namita also. That's also fine.
Yeah, I'll certainly do. Thank you. So, Mike, I have a one question. If you are doing any new startup and you're trying to solve a genuine problem, does the revenue matters at the first go when you are starting up, or does impact any on a valuation?
See, valuation is, Kile, revenue is just one of the factors. At the end of the day, it boils, it's like, it's a demand supply thing. The only way to have a great valuation, honestly, is not great revenue, but to have an alternative term sheet. So, and that's what I've seen in my journey, that, you can be in a market where you have like great numbers, but you get terrible valuation because, the environment is like this. And then there's suddenly a year like 2021 where you just, irrespective of the numbers, get like crazy valuation. So ideally, if you want to protect your dilution, it is important to ensure that you don't have to depend on the funding, and you can time your fundraisers such that you get it at a better time. And whenever you go for a round, get as much money as you can, so that this fundraising just drains a lot of time. But having said that, yes, in the long run, revenue is important, but all of us have gone through those, those stages of like struggling to get to 1 crore a month as well. And I feel that, sometimes businesses where revenue comes very quickly may not be businesses where you have a real moat where somebody else can't come in quickly. So building slowly in the initial days and iterating hundreds of times till that product market fit is there to create something scalable, that's important. So while revenue in the early stages is not so important, what is important is customers love you, they are repeating. When you talk to them about why they are buying you, it's making sense from the perspective of what you're building. I think all of those external validation of product market fit is far more important than revenue in the first at least 2-3 years.
And I think, please, the chartered accountant in me has to come out with revenue, please, path to profitability and cash flow. The two most ignored metrics, right?
And I think calling me Namita is, I take it as a compliment, so don't worry about that. And I've taken 1 million selfies pretending to be Namita.
I would also say that at early stage, thinking about investment, valuation, जरूरत ही नहीं है. मतलब अगर आप कह रहे हो you are early stage, you want to solve a problem, focus on the problem, focus on customers, are they happy, and you should not do the business to raise money. Make meaning, money will follow. But best businesses in the world never raise money, right? So this desire that success is equal to investment is wrong, right? Only if you feel मेरा business अच्छा कर रहा है and now I can, I'm creating value and I'm able to sustain well, and now with some capital I can change the scale of growth, make it a little bit higher, you can raise capital. But this desire कि चलो कुछ करते हैं जिससे इन्वेस्टमेंट मिल जाए, ये भाई, ये जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है ये घर बनाने के लिए पैसे नहीं है, ये बिजनेस बनाने के लिए पैसे है. तो इसकी जरूरत नहीं है, उसके बिना कितने अच्छे बिजनेसेस बने हैं. तो just because a business is funded doesn't mean it is a great business. It's a loan. Maybe it comes with a risk, but it has an obligation.
Thank you.
Next
Thank you so
question.
much. I have a
I
last
think we have-
question. If you don't mind.
Sorry, is it the same person asking a question?
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. We need to move
thank
on
you.
to more people. Lady there.
Hello.
I just want to make sure more people get to ask questions. So sorry.
Excuse me.
Yes. Whoever the mic is closest to.
Hello.
Am I audible?
And whoever is wearing specs, I'll only look at you. So
Okay, so my name is Shreya Jaiswal and I've started my own venture in the name of Spock. My question is directed to Aman and Peyush. फिलहाल there's an entrepreneurial wave going on जहाँ सबको new चीजें try करनी है, especially since Shark Tank India has come in. There's this thing that problem identify karo and just build a business around there. So because these things are not existing, like when you identify a problem, basically there's no solution already to it. So as a businessman, or as an entrepreneur, you feel, okay, your idea is really far, sabko pasand aane wala hai. but you do not know ki, as a customer whether that will be accepted or not. But you really want to build on it. So how to let go of that fear? What is that one tip that you would give to such entrepreneurs? कि अगर आपको लगता है कि हाँ आपका idea accept, मतलब just to let go of the fear that your idea will be acceptable or it can be acceptable in the customer world as well.
So the question is, how do you get over your fear?
Piyush, why don't you start?
Yeah.
So is your question is कि you had an idea and you had a solution, but you are worried whether it will be accepted or not?
Because it is not an existing business already, right? मतलब आप देख नहीं रहे हो जैसे आज किसी को fabric manufacturing या cloth manufacturing start करना है, they are seeing businesses around, they can learn from them. But for you, it's completely an uncharted territory. There is nothing like that existing. That is how startups are born. So how to let go of that fear that, okay, your idea can be accepted.
So first
or
we
it
have
is
to
a good
let
idea.
go of fear of failure altogether. I think I am completely agree with you that founders get attached to the solution versus getting attached to the problem. If you feel the problem is real, then you can create a solution, give it to a few people, and just observe silently without asking them a lot of questions and see whether they are finding it useful. If they are finding it useful enough, very likelihood that some of them will refer you to few other people. Now, if they're referring you to few other people, now that is where magic happens and you see, Achha, I'm on to something. But if that doesn't work, then you create something else, right? And there are times when even the problem you have picked is not a large enough problem. You think it is a problem. So I think it's a game of, trying, observing, succeeding, failing, and then retrying till you find something which is a real problem and a real solution. But failure से तो आपको बचना ही पड़ेगा. मतलब what is the worst that would happen if you fail, right? You're already wearing a good specs, and I think you'll be fine.
So if I have to answer that question, okay, it's in a very small way. I've had many failures. All of us have had, right? But you just have to get it one time right. I've got 5 failures. I just got both right, and I'm sitting here, right? I've got the money. I've got what I want to do. I'm happy. I'm happier. So failure is not is not to be looked at a negative lens. मतलब fail हो, 4 बार fail हो, एक बार सही हो गया ना, 4 डालोगे तो.
I just had a
Maybe
quick
couple-
question.
Two more questions. Maybe one from here, from the center.
Excuse me.
Hi.
Sorry. Who's got the mic?
Young guy.
Oh, sorry.
Hi.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
I have the mic here.
Oh, there.
Yeah. Yeah. Right at the back.
विनीता तुम ही चूज कर लो कौन से हाथ पसंद है.
Okay, whoever's got the mic, just ask the question.
I'll structure it better. यहाँ पे जो हाथ खड़े हैं, आप जिसको माइक दे दो, जिसके बाद माइक होगा वो
जिसके पास mic हो, just ask the question.
Okay,
I have the mic.
I'll just ask my quick question.
Yes, please ask.
Yeah, a very good evening, first of all. My question is, if you had to start a business today, which specific industry would you address and what specific pain point within that industry?
वो secret है हमारा next unicorn उससे निकलेगा.
Okay, and I think let's just one sharp answer so we can cover more questions. Next one.
Yeah. Hi. I'm Vineeta Singh, and having worked with multiple SMEs as a financial and management partner, one major challenge that I have seen, especially in second and third generation business, is that even after crossing a certain turnover, they are a little hesitant to enter untapped markets, go for integrations and scale up. At the cost of sounding cliche, the entrepreneurs usually say, "ये हमारी expertise नहीं है, हम जहाँ है वही ठीक है." So
This question only Namita can answer.
I think it was meant for me.
So sorry. So my question is, how do I convince them to, break that glass ceiling and get out of that comfort zone? And rightly, my question is for Namita.
Yeah, so family businesses account for almost 80% of our GDP, and I think we're the third largest country in terms of count of family businesses. So the second, third generation, getting them out of that comfort zone, challenging them. See, a lot of it has to come from within, right? I don't think anybody can be an external force and say, Namita, you do this, enter this new therapeutic area, collaborate with this multinational to get this exclusive product to India or acquire this brand. I think a lot of it has to be from your drive within of the second, third generation. And very important is to have well-meaning mentors. So for me, mentors have been important, whether it's a board member or a domain expert from that industry. So I have a mentor from pharmaceuticals who I go and I consult on a regular basis. I have a couple of doctors who I talk to on a very regular basis. And I have a mentor from a very different industry who I keep talking to. So I think the fire from within and having the right mentors is the combination that's needed to get you out of your comfort zone to try different things. And I don't think you can make anyone do anything unless the second, third generation has it in them. I don't think it can be really pushed onto them. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, for sure.
Can I ask a question?
Just whoever has a mic, ask. I want to cover as many as we can.
Yeah. What a fun day. Hello. It's okay. The question here is we are always shortage of resources, mainly money. Then what would you do to scale with limited resources you have? And by the way, you guys are having a lot of fun, and we are loving.
Thank you. So the question is when you have lesser resources, especially cash, how do you scale your business?
I would just do one thing, not shut down. Do whatever it takes to not shut down, because time solves a lot of things, including having access to resources. Markets change.
Absolutely. Great answer.
Okay, next question.
Hello. Hi,
Next
Vineeta.
question.
Hi, Vineeta. Hi, this is Manoj here. I've been waving at you for a while. I don't have a question, but I have a message for you.
Okay, no message, no messages.
No. It's a very, very nice message. Please hear me.
Okay, bye.
This was November last year, just prior to Shark Tank started, right? I was eating, watching Netflix, working 18 hours on my startup. This is repeat mode happening for a while. You know, one fine day, the Shark Tank started and my wife started watching Shark Tank. She saw a couple of clips of yours doing fitness and everything else, right? I was really heavier on my tummy and all the other parts. So she said that, Manoj, look, every day you come back, you sit on your couch, you work, you eat, you watch Netflix, you work, and this is happening for a while. Watch this lady. She has 100 times bigger startup than yours. She has kept herself so well and fit. If this doesn't inspire you, what else will? Honest to God, thanks to you, I lost incredible amount of weight. Today, I've been more disciplined and I'm more focused on personal life alongside my startup as well. All thanks to you.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Very proud of you. Well done. Super proud of you and loads of love to her. Yeah.
I'm
Thank
really glad we gave you an opportunity to talk because I can vouch for the fact that we would end our shoot at 11, but Vineeta would be on the treadmill at midnight. So that's her discipline.
Hi,
Yes,
Vineeta.
one more.
Hi, Vineeta. So basically, it is my part of a hurdle that finally I am able to ask you a question. So Vineeta, my name is Siddharth, and we run a sports management company that is Fixed Call, and we organize marathons. So my question to you is, the scope of marathon is increasing with each passing year in India. You being an athlete yourself, do you think that more companies should consider marathons as a marketing avenue?
I would definitely put sugar branding on every single marathon. Unfortunately, still till date, 10% of the runners are women. And I really urge all the women, and you know, I make every single person at Sugar participate in a marathon at least once a year, even if it's a 10K. And I really want to see that number go to 50%. And I agree. And I think it's going to happen. All companies, not just from the perspective of branding to consumers, but also for their own employees, are now considering marathons as a great fitness option. It's cool. It's cool to run. It's cool to be fit.
I think it's the need of the hour also, Vineeta. Don't you think
Super. So I think with this, we run out of time.
My question, last question.
Hello.
Are you part of the same group?
No, I think he's been trying.
Okay,
for
last question.
So my question to Aman and not Namita.
I deal into sustainability, carbon credits, and climate change. So my product is a pass-based product. The biggest problem I am trying to figure out even before I go into market is that how do I scale? Because the moment I enter into market, I'm pretty sure that I have to scale a lot. and it's a product-based thing. So can somebody help me, give me a few insights about how to scale the product-intensive market, wherein I have a lot of usage of silicon chips, and that too expensive ones, because I'm doing on-site AI.
भाई मुझे तो समझ नहीं आया अभी.
You know what? You know what? You were standing for 10 minutes, khade hoke with both your hands up.
I have an answer.
Both your hands up. So you know the answer. You'll figure it out.
Hold on, I have an answer for you. So this was going to be my conclusion or my summary. Can I have a show of hands of how many of you are ASCENT members? And how many of you are not ASCENT members? Can I have a show of hands? Okay, that's a very large number. So if all of you want people like this to answer your questions, okay, ASCENT has the ability and a learning platform where all your questions can get answered. I can tell you, I'm a very, very proud advisory board member for ASCENT. And Mr. Mariwala sitting here is a legend. The amount of time he gives to ASCENT is unbelievable. So if all of you here want your questions answered in a very, very structured, personalized, customized manner from not just these sharks sitting here, but a lot of industry experts, I would urge all of you to sign up for ASCENT membership today itself. And you will have the most incredible opportunity to get everything answered. It's one of the most fabulous platforms for entrepreneurs. And I saw a large number, 40% of the crowd here are not members. You're missing out. Please sign up today and send all your questions to us. We